Welcome back to another edition of the Prospect Profile, a mini-series we do here within the Atlanta Braves franchise, where we go over top prospects from AA Mississippi up to AAA Gwinnett. Last time we were in AA Mississippi for left-handed pitcher Petey Payton, and this time we're going to be staying in Mississippi for middle infield prospect Ricardo De La Torre. De La Torre is a shortstop slash second base prospect. He could possibly play some third base if he really needed to, but he is mainly a shortstop slash second baseman. He is from Puerto Rico. He is a 66 overall B potential, and he is 19 years old. Now, in real life, Ricardo De La Torre is committed to Auburn, and he is going to be drafted in this year's MLB draft in 2017. So he could end up going to a major league team this year, or he could end up going to Auburn. I signed him before the season started in the 2017. When I started up this franchise with the OSFM rosters, he was available as a free agent, and I signed him from there, and he's been in our system since. So that's where I got him from, because he was there, and I decided I wanted to pick him up, and now he's in our system. He's got contact in the high 50s. I think he has like a 59 versus right-handers and a 55 versus left-handers. So the guy is going to hit for average. That's him right now as a 19-year-old with B potential. That's going to improve. It's going to get even better. He's definitely going to be able to hit for a good average in the major leagues. And then he also has a high 30 power right now. I would say that could probably max out at about high 40s, maybe even low 50s. He definitely has the ability to crank out a few home runs. Once he gets fully developed, I would say maybe like a 10-15 home run type hitter. And he has around 50 vision, discipline, and clutch as well, so it's always good to have guys who have decent ratings for those as well, because if you have a guy who has bad vision or bad discipline, his contact and power ratings really don't mean anything if he's not going to be able to get his bat to the ball with his vision attribute, or if he's not going to be able to draw walks or anything. I mean, you're just going to have like a 290 OBP, you're not really going to be able to do anything. So it's always good to have guys who can have vision, discipline, and then clutch to drive runners in as well. He has 81 durability, so he's not going to have trouble staying in the field either. He's a very durable player. His fielding right now is sitting at a high 50s across the board for fielding, arm strength, arm accuracy, and reaction. So that is definitely very good. He definitely has the potential to be either a very good or even an elite shortstop slash second baseman, as right now it's high 50s, so it's basically almost 60-something across the board for that. And if he gets it into the 70s, I would say that's a pretty darn good defensive player right there. And I would say that's not out of the reach for him, especially being a B potential and only 19 years old. De La Torre's got some decent wheels as well. He's got 72 speed, which isn't really like a super impressive speed stat, but it's definitely good enough to where it's noticeable in the base paths, noticeable in the field, and it's going to be a skill for him to use. 42 steal, not the highest, but he's going to be able to swipe a few bags. He's not going to be a Billy Hamilton player, obviously, but he definitely does have some wheels to do some things in the base paths and in the field. And now with all that being said, I would say that Ricardo De La Torre's MLB comparison is another Puerto Rican shortstop in Francisco Lindor. He's a guy who has a potential to be a Gold Glover at a shortstop or second base position, just like Francisco Lindor. He's got good contact, he's going to hit for average, he's got a good vision, good discipline, he's going to hit for average, he's got the potential to be a decent power on him. But, I mean, Francisco Lindor is definitely not going to be the most powerful guy in the big leagues. Maybe he's going to hit 20 home runs in a season, but I would say he's more of around a 15 a year home run guy, maybe 20. And I think De La Torre does have the potential to be that type of player that Francisco Lindor is, so I'm going to use Francisco Lindor as a comparison. Obviously, I'm not saying that every single attribute on Francisco Lindor's player card is going to be what Ricardo De La Torre is. I'm just saying he's generally the same type of player as Lindor. Both from Puerto Rico, both middle infielders, both going to be able to hit for a high average, get a decent amount of pop, maybe like 10, 15, even maybe 20 home runs if he really develops. Great fielder, and he's got some decent speed as well. Just around the same type of player he is. I'm not saying he's literally a carbon copy of Francisco Lindor. I'm just saying that's the type of player he is. I'm sure there's going to be 15 comments telling me other players who are basically the exact same type of player, but they think those players are more representative. And as far as De La Torre's MLB ETA goes, I would say 2020. I mean, he is a 66 overall right now with the potential, so he could possibly be serviceable in 2019, but I wouldn't really expect him to be, like, making an impact in the big leagues until 2020. I would say that's around the time you would want to expect him, which is 2019's next season, 2020 is in 2 seasons. I mean, if that's going to be with us or if it's going to be with a different team, that is yet to be determined, because we are pretty stacked at the infield positions. Freeman's not going anywhere at first base. Second base long term is going to be Albies, even if he isn't right now. Shortstop long term is Swanson. Third base, we've got guys there right now, and then we've got Kevin Maitan coming up. So with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Prospect Profile of Ricardo De La Torre, the Puerto Rican shortstop/second baseman. I've been your host, Jersey Born, and I'm saying goodbye.